Hello everyone, welcome back to Modern History of Philippines for Dummies, Part 5. This will actually be Part 5.5, basically, because, the thing is, this will be quite long, video compared to what I usually do, and I do not have all the time in the world to do stuff, essentially. Yeah. Also, I'm recording this and probably will be posting this on June 12th, which means Philippine Independence Day. It turns 126 years. So do me a favor and celebrate it in your own way. Okay? Now let's get started in the video. Backstory. Now, a new president. This person named Elpidio Quirino. Now, Elpidio Arquino assumed his presidency on April 17, 1948, taking his oath of office 2 days after the death of Manuel Rojas. His first official act as president was proclamation of state mourning throughout the country for Rojas' death. Since Quirino was a widower, surviving daughter, Victoria would serve as official hostess for functions that traditionally ascribed to the lady. Yeah, by the way, Quirino was, I believe, vice president of Manuel Rojas before, he died in a heart attack. The hook palahab problem. Again, the term hook balahab, just to tell you guys something, the term hook balahab was continuation of hukbong bayan laban sa mga Hapon. In English, that the nation's army against the Japanese soldiers, members of which were commonly referred to as hooks. With expiration of the amnesty deadline on August 28, government found out that the hooks had not lived up to the terms of the Quirino-Taruk Agreement. Indeed, after having been Congress in collecting his back pay allowance, Hook leader Luis Taruk surreptitiously fled away from Manila, even as a number of followers even as a number of his followers either submitted themselves to amnesty proclamation or surrendered their arms. In the face of counter charges from the hook to the fact that the government had not satisfied the agreed conditions, President Quirino ordered a stepped-up campaign against dismissal, restoring once more an aggressive policy in view of failure of friendly attitude previously adopted. The impeachment attempt. The Liberal Party faced increasing resentment, resulting in an attempt to impeach Quirino. A committee drafted a five-count accusation, but after hearings, the president was fully acquitted on April 19, 1949, in which Filipino becomes president of the UN General Assembly at the time. At the time. In September 1949, the fourth General Assembly of the United Nations elected delegate Carlos P. Romualdo as its president. Romualdo, the first Oriental to hold the position, received strong support from Anglo-Saxon bloc and a group of Spanish-speaking nations. This underscored the hybrid nature of Filipino people's culture and upbringing, because you have your um, third Spanish influences like the Catholic Church, and then you have your American influences speaking English. 1949 presidential election. In November 1949 presidential election, incumbent President Quirino won a full term following the untimely death of President Manuel Rojas in 1998. His running mate Senator Fernando Lopez also successful in the election and becoming vice president. Despite fact fractions within the administration party, Quirino managed to secure a satisfactory vote from the public. Not notably, this election marked the only instance in Philippine history where duly elected president and vice president and senators all belong to the same party, the Liberal Party. However, the election drew widespread criticism for being corrupt, with reports of violence and fraud. So much for the term liberal in Liberal Party. Opponents of Quirino were repeatedly subjected to beatings or even murder by supporters or the police. The election is still widely viewed as corrupt. Also, back then in the Philippines, you could do like 2 terms in office, but less than the 6 years. The peace campaign, the quote-unquote peace campaign, aka military military restructuring a bit, with the communist organization estimated to still have 40,000 duly registered members by March 1951. The government went with its sustained campaign to cope with the worsening peace and order problem. 1941, the budget included use of residue fund, land resettlement program in favor of books. Money helped maintain the economic development corps at core with its settlement of 6,500 hectares in Kapatagan, Lanao, and 25,000 hectares in Buldon, Cotabato. In each group taken to these places were nucleus of former army personnel and their families. It became a stabilizing factor and ensured the success of the program. Indeed, less than 10% of the Hooks who settled down gave up this new lease in life offered by the government. To promote smooth restructuring the armed forces in the Philippines, the military were made to undergo reorganization. Battalion combat teams of 1,000 men were established. Each operated independent of the high command except for overall coordination and operational plans. A total of 26 battalion combat teams were put up. New army units were established, such as the 1st Airborne Unit, Scout Rangers, Canine Unit, and Cavalry Unit. All these units showed considerable ability. And the economy. Upon assuming the reins of the government, Quirino announced 2 main objectives of this administration. First, economic nation, and second, the restoration of faith and confidence of the people in the government. In connection to the first agenda, he created the President's Action Committee on Social Amelioration to mitigate the sufferings of indigent families, the Labor Management Advisory Board to advise him on labor matters, and the Agricultural Credit Cooperatives Financial Administration or ACCFA to manage the farmers' markets and their crops and save them from loan sharks and rural banks in the Philippines. Facilitate credit utilities in rural areas. And that, my friend, will be the end of part 5.5. Also, I'd really like if you were to share my content to people who seem interested, and please, please subscribe. Okay, see you, bye.